Hi everyone, I'm Max with Customers Chasing You. Welcome to our podcast. We're talking about referral systems today. Referrals are super important. There's people have said many different things. What I've said about referrals is really when you get a referral, it's your customer to lose. And, this is the Customers Chasing You podcast. So of course we're going to talk about referrals, why they're so powerful, what the systems are, how you actually get referrals. There's like a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of miscommunication that's going on the real way to get referrals. So I'm going to talk about how I've gotten referrals in my businesses and talk about what specific systems I put in place. Yeah, I said referral systems. I didn't just say, oh yeah, do you know anybody who needs XYZ service? No, like there's specific steps and there's a checklist to it. And if you don't have one, you need one because it's the only way that you're going to get referrals predictably. So let's just go ahead and jump in, get started, take some notes. We're going to keep it at about 20 minutes. I got my timer set. So because I don't like videos that drag on. And that's a problem. Like radio, I don't know who listens to radio. Probably some people still do, but it's not as common. That's why podcasting, is taken off. But a lot of folks, they just drag on and on. I don't ever want to be like that. The point of this show, before I jump into referrals, is to help people get action. Okay. I don't want you to listen to a bunch of my videos and then just go, oh, wow, this is great. I feel really good. And tomorrow I'm going to get results. I want you to get results tomorrow, but you have to do some action. And so, I meet all these people, and one of the biggest questions I get, really the most common question I get is how have you been able to learn this stuff in your, 4 or 5 year journey in real estate? How have you been able to put so much of it into action? So that's the part that a lot of people struggle with. So that's what I want to help you with. So we're taking really complicated topics and we're slimming them down to the most important things in these 20 minutes. And then at the end of the video, I've got a tool that I'm going to give you that is basically like a communication blueprint. And if you install these systems meaning like a checklist, if you install these systems into your business, you're gonna get really good results. I've gotten great results from it. A lot of people have. So I'm looking forward to teaching you this. So let's just jump in and get started. Like I said, you can take some notes, but just gotta have your mindset right to from the very beginning. That's really important. Okay, cool. So by the end of this podcast, you'll know how to create referral systems on your own, and you can use, you can cheat off of me. I'm okay with that, and put them into your business. I want you to be able to have something in 5-10 minutes. You can install something permanently into your business and start getting results. Okay. So what are some, I hear a lot of misconceptions about referrals. A lot of folks are like, man, why would I worry about referrals? I can just send out direct mail. I can just put Facebook ads and get the phone to ring and just do that. And folks who really I guess say referrals are stupid or dumb. I've kind of felt this way a little bit before I became a total referral believer. Was there's no time. So referrals, the idea is you have to spend a lot of time building relationships, which actually isn't that much time and it's way worth it. We'll get to that in a little bit. Referrals, I hear a lot of times people think they're too unpredictable. It's yeah, referrals are good, but I can't base a whole business on that. Well, it depends on what kind of business you're in. If you're business to business, most of that is happening through referrals. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the business cycle and get to it. And then a lot of folks think, well, I just need to focus on getting new leads and that'll solve all my problems. And what's happening is in a lot of businesses that I've looked at, that I've consulted for, and even in some of my own businesses, you hear a lot about the funnel, right? So you start out with people who are kind of aware of what you're all about. And then as they move through different parts of the sales process, it gets smaller and smaller. Well, what happens a lot of times that really hurts referrals is you start out with 100 people, maybe you end up with 5 customers at the end. And then you sell that person a product or a service and that's it. And where that's killing you right now, and there's another video that we've done about digital marketing, and it talks about this in more detail, is that if you don't have people in your brand, whether it's your personal brand or whether it's your company brand, who are really advocating and really spreading the word about how great your business is, then you're not going to be in business in the future, okay? Because what's happening is people are going online and they're looking up reviews, they're checking you out. And if you don't have a presence online, or you have a negative presence online, that pretty much just like kills your business. So how do you avoid that? Well, you have to reverse the funnel. I don't hear anybody talking about this, but you have to take the funnel, and when you get to a customer, you've got to flip it back and almost make them go back up, and you have to expand it. And how you expand it is, this is what I'm talking about with referrals. You provide an incredible experience with whatever product or service that you're offering. Okay, like the work doesn't stop there. That's when it just begins. And I kind of always knew that, but I didn't really fully understand it until probably the last year or two. And now I understand why. It's because you have to have advocates in your business who are really, like I said, saying your praises. The impact of somebody who, like, if you say something good about yourself, or you put it in an advertisement or something like that, people believe that about this much, okay? This is like my proprietary scale, all right, for my planet, right? So like this much. But if somebody is saying something good about you, it has like a 5 to 10 times greater impact. So that's a huge difference. So if you can have people in your business that have done work with you say good things about you, that's the referral. And that we call it deferred credibility. Deferred credibility is basically when, I'll give you a perfect example. I have a customer that I bought their house from about 2 years ago. I sent them my book about a year ago, and then she called me maybe a month ago and said, "Hey, I have a friend who wants to sell their house. Will you meet with her?" And I said, "Sure." And so these two ladies had worked together for, I think, about 18 years is what she said. So for that 18 years, they went out to coffee together, they went out to lunch together, they've been over to each other's house. And so when the person I've already done business with, that I've chosen consciously on purpose to stay in contact with, says, Max did a really good job and he'll help you too. Okay, there's like two things going on there. One is that by somebody choosing you from a positive referral, that saves them a lot of time. The person who's getting referred to you doesn't have to go on a big search. Time is something, we have a whole playlist on videos about time. Time is really in short supply right now. So it's like, what can you do to save time? What the customers do is they look for like a friend or family member referral. And when they get one of those, they take advantage of it, and they usually move with that. And they usually, that's pretty much all of their research has been done at that point. And so it speeds it up for them, and it helps you a lot too. The other thing, when you kind of think about referrals and how all that works, is, so like the first advantage is to the customer, and the second one obviously is to you. 18 years of the person who gave you a referral, like all that credibility, we call it deferred credibility. So now all of a sudden, when I was meeting with the customer, it's like I had been friends with her for 18 years because her friend of 18 years referred me. So that's a huge impact. Like, there's nothing I could have done on a client appointment. There's no magic questions. There's 7 magical phrases that you need to do whenever you're meeting with a seller. Like, that stuff is garbage compared to a referral, because you can't ask questions in an hour that matches 18 years of trust. And that's what was deferred when I went and met with a friend. So I think you understand that referrals are powerful. So maybe you're wondering, okay, yeah, I get it. Referrals are powerful. How do I get more of them? Well, it's a natural part of a consistent relationship. And what I mean by consistent, there's kind of 2 different ways to think about relationships with your prospects who haven't bought from you yet, or your customers. They've bought from you for at least once. So the consistent and the process, there's like there's different touch points throughout the relationship. So a touch point is like when either you engage with the customer, so you're, talking to them, maybe somebody else is talking about you, or the reverse. The customer is calling you, asking questions, or the customer's looking you up. So there's a customer path, and there's different points along the journey. So if you have that mapped out and planned out, which we teach people how to do in another video, it's really not that complicated. We're actually talking about this with our Inner Circle members, our home-to-home licensees, and this was the topic this week on our call, was like, okay, what is the customer's path, and how, what different things or ways did the customer engage with you, to get to the point of purchase and beyond. And so all you have to do is just figure out what those are and then map it out. But you have to be consistent. So here's a question. So let's say a customer buys from you, what happens next? What happens the day of purchase? What happens the day after? What happens the week after, the month after? What happens a year later? And so having all of that planned out ahead of time is the consistency. And there's two types of touch. There's a digital touch, which is like, an email, maybe a Facebook ad, something that's obviously like on the screen, right? TV, phone, computer, whatever. And then there's actual physical, and that can be, you don't have to go over there and like give them a hug, but sending them something that's analog. So like, sending them a thank you note, sending them, a gift, birthday card, Christmas gift, Christmas card, stuff like that. So having that planned out is huge, and it makes a compounding effect because, you know people, a lot of people, but just remember all of the paid, advertising that you do, it doesn't have the same effect. So your customers are kind of like the first place to start. When I got started on this referral journey, the first place I went was to my existing customers. So when I wrote the book on senior housing, I gave it to all of the people who I had done business with. Then I gave it to all the people that I pay every month, like my vendors, right? Then I gave it to all of like my friends and family, and then I expanded it to influencers, and pretty much got all the business that I needed just from those sources. So that's what that consistent follow-up kind of looks like, right? So let's get a little more detail into referrals. What are the biggest mistakes? Well, the number one is not planning for referrals, just thinking that they just happen magically. Not the case. Number two, this is the biggest one, is not giving out referrals. So here's a little secret. People who receive a lot of referrals, okay, they give out a lot of referrals. So if I expect let's say a realtor in my market to send me a referral of somebody who wants to sell quickly, then what I need to do first is to aggregate a lot of people who need maybe a service that I don't offer and refer that service to someone else. That's key. And that's why this interruption marketing with a lot of real estate investors is so short-sighted. Because, and I mean, I did it too. 1 year, $100,000, and it was all way over, actually, and it was all just interruption. I was just trying to hit a timing bubble and send out mail. What I should have been doing is have something else that I could offer to get the conversation started, and then have more people calling me, even if a lot of them aren't going to be my customers, because now I have more people that I can refer to someone else, maybe a service that I don't offer. And then through the law of mirrored reciprocity, that person can, now refer somebody to me. So that's really what it looks like. That's a big, big thing. Not creating a referral goal. So yeah, you actually can have a goal around referrals. I think you should. And here's kind of one idea is that, let's just say that you want to have, like one referral a month for your business. Plan on giving out 2 or 3 referrals to someone else. That's really like how you set it up. And then just like I said, not having any sort of plan. I'm looking at an email here on my computer, and it just says, hope all is well. Just a quick note to let you know, I'm referring you to a friend selling her home. She lives at, her name is, heads up. By the way, is there an incentive for referrals? That was 2018. And actually this person's referred me a lot of people. And the reason is because she is an advocate, because I stayed with her through the whole process, and I just stayed in contact with her, and she just really was, affected by that, by the good service. She had so many years of lousy service, met with so many people who just wanted to, do a transaction and leave. And so because I stuck around, she's referred me more people than probably anybody. And it's because I just stay in contact with her, right? And she knows that her friends are going to get taken care of. That's key. It makes her look good. So who are your referral partners? Well, they're non-competitive, but they have similar customers. So what does that look like? I'll give you an example. Maybe like a CPA. So right now I'm doing, real estate investing, and I'm in the process. I'll have my real estate license through EXP pretty soon. But I'm not competing with CPAs, right? So if I can create a system where I'm aggregating a lot of people who need CPA services, and I send a CPA in my town 1 referral a month, 2 referrals a month, they might have the same customer as me, right? And then they don't offer the discount home buyer services, and they can refer them to me. So that's what you're looking for. You're not usually going to get a lot of referrals from people who offer the same service like that. You will sometimes, but just not usually. So what do? Well, you make a list and start with all the people that you say, okay, who's my ideal customer? And then who else already knows them? So I guess that's 2 questions. And then the third question is who are they? You just make a list, right? And then you reach out to them and you let them know, ask them what they need more of, what they need less of, and see what kind of people make a good referral for them. They'll be really touched that you are actually asking about them, not just wanting stuff. If you just call up people and just say, hey, just send me all of your referrals and all your leads, that's not going to really go very far. Make a list and then look at your database and rank each person by their ability to give you a referral. That might be a really new concept, but I'm going to help you in this blueprint that I'm going to give you. It's a downloadable tool at the end of the video. You can click on the link and download it. And I want you to download it and read it. It'll take about 2 minutes. And I have a grouping in my CRM, and it's based on somebody's ability not to be my customer, but to be a referral partner. A referral partner is somebody who's an advocate or a fan of you. So you have to establish that. And they have to be somebody who knows a lot of people and a lot of people who are your potential customer. So if you think through this process, you can be well on your journey to getting referrals. And referrals sometimes are almost 100% close ratio. Some of the best customers that you can get. So definitely want to do that. So how do you do it again? You make a list. You check in it twice, right? You call the list. And you just converse with these referral partners and ask them what kind of people they're looking for. If they don't really need anybody, it's probably not going to be a good referral partner. It needs to be somebody where you can help each other. And if they're like, yeah, I'm looking for this kind of person for my business, and that's somebody that that you have right now in your database, or you can get more of, that might be a great referral partner, right? And then you rank your contacts, and then you follow up consistently, but you have to follow up on a schedule. So somebody that can send you a lot more people, you're a lot better fit to give them referrals. Obviously, that's somebody that you're going to contact more often. And I have a whole schedule that breaks it down that I'm going to show you. So here's some different questions as we're kind of closing out. What is most important to my audience? Okay, so audience, customers, right? Who does my audience need the most? So like if you're a discount home buyer, who else besides you does your customer need? Like in the senior space, where I do a lot of stuff and I do a lot of marketing. My senior homeowner customer, they need the help of finding somebody who can help them find another place to live. Maybe a lot of times it's like a senior housing place. That could be a referral agency. So could I contact a referral agency? I've done this a lot and it's worked. And licensees who license my book do it. They contact a referral agency. Referral agencies are not buying the customer's house. And I say, hey, I've got customers here. They need help finding a place to live. Would you be interested if I sent them to you? And they're like, yeah, of course. And then it works both ways. They have a customer they need to place. They can't place the customer until they sell the house. And then, so they're calling you. So that's kind of how that looks like. So that's who you would introduce them to. And then can you have, reciprocal relationships? And if you can, then that's your ideal referral partner. And that's who you're looking for. So I hope that makes sense and you got a lot of value from this. I want you to take the step further. If you liked the video, the podcast, give it a like. I love a comment on which part of this made the most sense or what area you still need the most help with. A little feedback. Any suggestions, of course, are awesome. And of course, if you share this with somebody, that's awesome. If you find it valuable, I really appreciate that. But don't delay. I want you guys to download the tool. Like I said, information's great. I love coming up here and giving you some info, but I really want you to put this into action. So every video that we're doing, we're trying to do it for every single one. I don't know if we'll be able to do it for all of them, but as much as we can, we're putting some kind of action tool in the bottom. So you can click down below. There's a link. and download the tool, print it out, look over it in a couple of minutes, and then start mapping out who your referral partners are. Okay, who already knows your audience, who you could send the most leads to, and then start ranking them. I have the formula on how to do that on the spreadsheet. Start ranking the people out based on, what kind of referral relationship that you guys can be, and you'll be well on your way. You will to having customers chase you. I mean, that's what we want, right? We don't want to just always be running around chasing our tail. We want customers coming to us, and referrals are the best kind of customers that you can have chasing you. I want to thank everybody for listening, and until next time, be well, be blessed, and we'll see you on the next show. Bye-bye.